Okay, good morning, my AP angels. Today we are going to start free response questions type 5, table and Riemann sums. And just to give you an overview for the next couple of weeks, we're going to finish type 5 probably by Wednesday, start type 6 on Wednesday, and finish up type 6 by the end of the week, starting with type 7 on next Monday. Now, if you've noticed, because you're following along on that chart I gave you, we are going to skip type 4, area and volume. It's not going to be on the 2020 exam. It's something we can look at after the exam, but we're not going to do that right now. Type 6 is differential equations and slope fields, and type 7s are these other problems, and there's quite a few of those. We have done some type 7 problems, and we have done some type 6 problems. So we're in pretty good shape. We have about 3 weeks until the exam, so that's exciting. I am strongly suggesting that you start your stat medic assignment, you're keeping up with the AP Live, and even practicing that target practice packet I gave you before we left. I think it's a good place for you to review all of what we've learned in calculus. But for today, we're going to talk about type 5 focus topic 5, tables and Riemann sums. I have attached this to the Google Drive plus the homework. The homework is your assignment for tonight. Here's what you should be able to do. You should be able to find the average rate of change over an interval. I think we're really good at that. We also piggyback that into approximating the derivative. Whenever we're asked for an estimate and we can't find the actual derivative, what we need to be doing is AROC. You should be able to use Riemann sums, and this includes left, right, and midpoint. Trapezoid is probably the best approximation of the integral, but if they tell us to do the left or the right, that's what we're going to do, or the midpoint. The values, typically we have uneven subintervals, so what we're going to ask for is you're going to have to do the best you can over the intervals they give you. Average value, we're going to take that out, but average rate of change is staying. Rolle's theorem and mean value theorem. And CJ's favorite, the intermediate value theorem, are all tested in these problems. And these questions are usually presented in a context, and then you're asked to either interpret in the context or give the units. There could be some unit analysis, so make sure that you're looking for those things when you identify that you have a type 5 problem. Okay, some do's and don'ts, always my favorite. Do remember that you do not know what happens between the values in a table. So what looks like it's decreasing, unless it says it's strictly increasing or strictly decreasing, you can't assume that. You have to use the information that you're given. Okay, do show your work even if you can do it in your head. So if you're asked to do AROC, you have to write that difference quotient. So f of 4 maybe minus f of 2 over 4 minus 2. That's going to give us the estimate for 3, f of 3, the slope at f of 3. You have to write that even if you can do that math in your head. But certainly if you don't have a calculator, do not do that arithmetic, especially with a Riemann sums. You guys are not the best at multiplying and subtracting and adding. And so what I really strongly suggest here for Riemann sums is leave it in a numerical value. And that's the same for like sine of pi over 4. You can leave it as sine of 5 pi over 4, but once you write like the wrong answer, like let's say you write a half, now the entire problem is wrong. And then this last do not here. This is really for my stat kids. You guys are taught a lot about linear regression or exponential regression and how to do that on the calculator. Do not do regression with any of these problems. Don't try to figure out what the function is. Just use the information that you're given. Okay, and that's your overview for type 5. I will be discussing this in the Zoom today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Take care.